Hey there folks, this is Richard of DoomedMovieThon.com, back with another episode of My Horror Shelfie. My Horror Shelfie is a series where I talk about every single horror movie on my horror movie shelves, from A to Z, and everyone is very enthused to have me here, including maybe you. Last time I almost finished the letter H, I forgot a key title, but don't worry, I have it right here for us to talk about. After that, it's the letter I, the whole thing. I don't have a lot of letter I because I is not popular with the horror movie community who prefers me. But first, let's go pick some movies from the shelving right behind me. Let's go! First up is the final film of H, and that is The Hunger. This is before the games. This is before they made games out of it. It was just Hunger. Classic vampire movie, artsy as hell, also very 80s, and just kind of perfect. It's also very, very pretentious, which I have absolutely no problem with. Highly recommend The Hunger if you haven't seen it. I think there was a sequel, or they made a lot of short-lived TV series or something. I haven't bothered with that, but go for The Hunger. I have already talked about my love of the filmmaker Osgood Perkins. I did a previous video where I talked about The Blackcoat's Daughter, and I talked about I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House, and I talked about Gretel and Hansel. But this is one of my favorite films of all time. Not a lot of people like it. Not a lot of people understand why I find it so special. It's fine. It just clicks with me in a way that it doesn't click with a lot of other people. Of course, it's a Netflix movie, so this is not a, this is a bootleg. The bootleg from the unfortunately titled Stinky Tuna. It was very difficult for me to order from a site called Stinky Tuna. I didn't care for it. I still don't. But, hey, I got I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House on Blu-ray. Hooray for me. Netflix. Just put it out, bro. They never will. Next up in the letter I is I Drink Your Blood, a hippies run amok, satanic hippies run amok movie. This is so much fun. It is definitely a product of its time. You've got hippies with rabies going berserk. It's just so great. This is like one of the ultimate drive-in movies. Man, I don't want to say too much. You just need to see this. Of course, hidden inside of I Drink Your Blood is The Children, which is also fun. The Children is the Radioactive Children movie, which I also recommend, but not as much as I recommend I Drink Your Blood. This is awesome. Also, it's from Grindhouse Releasing, which, very fun label. They put out the good stuff. Here's a double feature. I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I know still what you still know, still summer, still last. Great slasher stuff, of course. I Know What You Did Last Summer is a New Year's Eve movie, which is very rare to find good New Year's Eve movies, but I love I Know What You Did Last Summer. It is just wonderful. Sequel's fun, definitely diminishing returns there, but worth a watch, absolutely. Yeah, good stuff. I love the atmosphere of this one. At the insistence of my pal Simon of the Hello, This is the Doomed Show podcast, and good friend of mine, Simon, he was telling me all about I, Madman, how I needed to see it, and I finally got a copy, and damn, he was spot on. This is a fine, fine horror film. It is really unusual, very offbeat, highly recommended. You've got a character coming to life from the pages of a book and terrorizing a person who, we should trust her, but maybe she's an untrustworthy narrator type of thing going on. Also, secret Christmas movie. You have to really look for Christmas in this movie. It's a blink and you'll miss it, but it happens near the end of the film, so keep an eye out. The only stoner comedy in my house. I do not like stoner comedies. I think they're not for me. I don't know. I don't get it. But I love Idle Hands. I've been carrying this DVD around for years. I think my wife introduced me to this one, and I just have loved it ever since. This is a fine, fine movie with good old Devon Sawa, his comedic timing and his stunt work is just wild. It's really solid movie. We covered this on Hello, This is the Doom Show, speaking of the podcast and speaking of Simon. And I did a bunch of research on marijuana slang, and I found the worst, lamest, and just pathetic nicknames for marijuana at the end of the episode, and Simon and I traded them back and forth. It was very fun. Highly recommend that episode of the show. I'll put a link to that in the description of this one.
420 blazing.
In My Mouth, There's Madness, directed by John Carpenter. I am a big fan of this film. Saw this in the theater as a kid, a teenage kid, and I just frickin' loved it so much. And it's not one I reach for very often. In fact, I don't even know if I've cracked this Blu-ray yet. I'm hoping that the Warner Brothers Blu-ray isn't complete trash. But man, this is a good movie, and it just freaks me out in the best way. You've got movie within a movie stuff, or rather book within a movie stuff, and Sam Neill, one of his best performances. He carries the whole film, and it's great. Good old Lucio Dario directed Inferno, the movie where he sits in bed. No, this is Dario Argento's Inferno, his follow-up to Suspiria, the inimitable Suspiria. What could you possibly follow Suspiria with? Well, here's what he did. Truly insane filmmaking. Dreamlike as the best of Argento's stuff is. Goes on these little, journeys within a movie where there's just, a character going from point A to point Z to point D to point R, completely weird, unpredictable stuff. There's nothing like Inferno. There's absolutely nothing like it. They treat some cats not so nice. Also, they treat rats a little not great in here, but the movie's made, I can't help it. I enjoy it even with all of the sad, angry animals in the movie. Maybe not in my top 10 slashers, but certainly within the top 20 would be The Initiation. I am a big fan of this Daphne Zuniga film. She is quite good in this, and the plot is wild. Kids in a shopping mall overnight, or a big department store. It's such a huge store, it looks like a mall to me. It reminds me of Happy Birthday to Me a lot, but The Initiation is solid stuff. I think there's a guy in a giant penis costume. Speaking of initiations, you have to have your initiation of Sarah. I am so glad this is on Blu-ray. I really enjoy this. I thought I had seen it years ago, but I was mixing it up with something else, and I might have even seen the remake that they did on Hallmark Channel or whoever did a remake of Initiation of Sarah with a bunch of hip, young, cool actors in the 2000s. But no, this is Morgan Fairchild and Shelley Winters, just, girls schooling it up, or rather, sororitizing at a college. Super watchable. I love made-for-TV horror from the 70s. Just super watchable. Give it a look. Okay. This is scary. The Innkeepers is scary. I don't have a lot of movies that scare me in my collection. I have a lot of movies I love and that are cool and funny, but Innkeepers genuinely gets under my skin. This, of course, is Ty West. After the masterful House of the Devil, he did Innkeepers, which I think is really, really good. It's spooky. Spooky stuff. I think it was one of the first movies to embrace the 90s. So he was ahead of the game. Everybody was still making kitschy 80s stuff. He wanted to set his films firmly in the 90s, and it's good shit. Intruder. I only recently busted out this Blu-ray of Intruder. Years ago, I actually bought the Laserdisc of Intruder. I had access very briefly to a Laserdisc player, and I found the Laserdisc for Intruder for $2 or something. So I was really excited, and I burned it to a DVD so I could watch it at home. And sadly, Intruder was super censored. All of the gore was cut out. This is one of those films that the MPAA butchered, completely butchered. So characters would just disappear and you wouldn't even know how they died at all. Not even, forget cutting a few seconds of gore, they'd cut the whole sequence. So yeah, I'm really happy to have Intruder on Blu-ray. It is definitely not a favorite of a slasher, but It has a weird vibe to it and energy, plus, the Raimis are involved in it. It's really good. It's really good. It gets better with every viewing, but I think maybe it's like 5 or 10 minutes too long. I'm not sure, but love it. Love uncut gore. The last movie, I was checking the shelves, seriously. I'm hoping I didn't miss anything, and I would be ashamed. Classy, I'm getting classy in here, with Island of Lost Souls from the good old Criterion Collection. This is probably one of the oldest movies in my entire collection. I'm very bad about classic cinema when it comes to horror, but, getting there, I'm getting better. Jeez, you guys. This is as close to perfect as you can get. It's just something about it, man. Unsettling and very atmospheric. Just really good. Really, really good. If you're looking for something to check off in your classics, like if you have a list of shame of things you need to see, go forth and check out Island of Lost Souls. You will not be disappointed. It's great. Well, we finished a letter, which is always a good thing. But when we finish a letter around here, we have to celebrate with a box set special. I added some special effects to that. And I'm very happy to show off this little trilogy here. For me, whoa, can't get back in there. For me, a box set is anything with 3 movies or more. So I went ahead and stuffed this into my stocking, or my, very overloaded box set area of my movie collection. But this is Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, 4, and 5. I don't like Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. I know. Kernel of a great movie in there, and then clip show from the first movie. I hate clip shows. But I love the first Silent Night, Deadly Night. I love those really cool scenes from Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. And then I really, really love 3, 4, and 5. 3, Better Watch Out is a very sleepy slasher. A lot of people hate it, and I don't blame you. But I am a big fan. It's got some Twin Peaks people in it. Always a great thing there. Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, I think, is the best movie in the series. It is the freakiest one. Lots of body horror. Lots of commentary on sexism in the workplace. And, like women and their power, it's... I'm sorry if I'm not communicating the film's ideas, because I'm a dorky dude. But yeah, I love Silent Night, Deadly Night 4. Unbelievably weird movie. Plus a great Clint Howard performance in that one. Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker, is even weirder. It's as different from 3 and 4 as 4 is from 3. It's so insane. You got frickin' living... Pinocchio, and you got killer toys. You got frickin' Andy Rooney. Andy Rooney? No, wait, Mickey Rooney, the other guy. Not the 60 Minutes guy. Mickey Rooney, who is always unsettling. He's always been weird. Look at Mickey Rooney when he was a teenager. He was weird. As an adult, he was weird. As an old man, it's like super hyper concentrated weirdness. I'm sure he was a good guy, but what the hell? Good old Vestron Video put this out, and I cannot thank them enough. This is just such a wonderful trilogy around the holidays, and there's nothing quite like it. Seriously, I don't know how you got from Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 1 to Part 5. If you're on the fence about picking up this set, get off that fence and get it. Folks, thank you so much for hanging out and watching this video. If you made it this far, I have a little treat for you. As some of you might know, I've been working on a book for several years now called Giallo Meltdown 2. The book is done. I'm just editing it right now. So real quick, I'm going to do a cover reveal. There's the cover. I hope you guys saw it. I bet you wish I filmed in 4K so you could get that pause button. But I cannot wait to tell you guys about this book when I'm finally prepared to unleash it upon an unsuspecting world. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in J and K, because spoiler alert, I don't have a lot of either of those letters, so JK, just kidding, see you later. There's the book again.